Hello YouTube. I sold a protein skimmer today. It was the old Berlin skimmer. It was just sitting down in the bottom of my stand gathering dust. And when the guy came in to pick up the protein skimmer, he had a few questions for me because he's new to reef tanks. He's starting up a 120-gallon reef tank and wanted to know about, how did I make my fish selections, because it seems that everybody in my tank, they get along. They get along very nicely. There's really minimal bullying. I mean, it happens every now and then. Little territorial disputes break out. But I guess what this video was for is to try and answer some of those questions that this guy had for me. He wanted to know about compatibility issues. What fish were compatible with what. Do they get along? Do any of them eat my corals? Are they prone to diseases, etc., etc., etc.? And the plain and simple answer is, you've got to experiment depending on what you want in your display. Now, as far as the bullying and all of that is concerned between fish, a lot of times when you introduce a new fish into your display, the territories are already established. So my suggestion is that you move around some of the rock work. It breaks up those territories. It becomes unfamiliar to that fish that has locked in on it. And, the best thing to do actually, and it's, cost prohibitive, but to try and introduce all your fish into your display at the same time. If you can't do that, then go ahead and, rearrange some of your rock work. Introduce the new inhabitant to your aquarium. Keep the lighting down low. And that's worked for me thus far. Now, as far as fish being reef safe, will they eat your corals? Well, that's another one that's kind of hard to speak to, because a lot of people say, this fish, that fish, they're not coral safe. They'll eat your doggone corals, etc., etc. But I am an avid follower, excuse me, of a bunch of the other guys that are on YouTube that make these videos, and they give out some really, really good advice. Ultra Maximus, for example, I was looking at his tank, and he had a coral beauty in there. I've always wanted a coral beauty, but I heard that they were not reef safe, that they would, pick at your polyps, etc., etc., etc. So I shot him a note, hey, Ultra Maximus, dude, I'm thinking about getting a coral beauty. How has it been, around your corals lately? And he let me know. Nah, hasn't touched them. Now, he may be lucky, maybe not. You never know. Depends on what you want to have in your display. And what are you willing to sacrifice? Because if the fish is not reef safe and you got polyps, etc., 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 then there is a possibility, hey, maybe it'll happen. Maybe they'll start munching on your corals. Who knows? But I had introduced into my display a copper band butterfly fish, and it was because it was just so beautiful. I wanted to have it in the display. I heard they weren't exactly coral safe. Well, I was willing to see, what would happen, what it would try to eat. If it got too destructive, I could always remove it from the display and take it back to the live fish store. The only thing it really bothered was my Hawaiian feather duster. That was like $6. Didn't care, but it is actually coming back. Now, the copper band butterfly did, yes, it picked at it. The entire side of its husk, or that shell that it grows, was gone. I thought it was lost, but it's coming back. And, to have the copper band butterfly on my display, I was willing to sacrifice that. I guess the best advice that I can give you is, know what you want in your display, investigate it, watch what other people are selecting, If they have similar corals, or if they have corals and you're wondering about that, and they have a specific fish that you're trying to purchase, look at their video. See what's going on in their tank. Ask them questions. That's what, we put these videos out for, to try and help this hobby along and to try to help one another. It's a very involved hobby. You got to have good tank husbandry, taking care of your water parameters, making sure that your fish are fed. If they get sick, what to do. Tangs are notorious for ick. And, just watch the videos, ask questions. You'll learn a lot. So far, I'm happy with my tank. A lot of the other guys that are putting out these videos, they're very happy with theirs. And they give you really, really, really good advice. A caveat to that last expression is, you can't always trust what they tell you in the live fish store. Okay? They're there to make sales. They may tell you, oh yeah, it'll do fine. It won't bother your corals, blah blah blah. Hopefully, the majority of the live fish stores aren't like that. But those of us that are in the hobby know that there are many of them out there that are. They will lie to you. So experimentation at times is necessary. You may get a fish, like I'm going to probably put a Coral Beauty in here, thanks to Ultra Maximus. And I know it may eat at my polyps, it may not. But those are the chances that we take. Whatever you decide on, whatever you want in your display, you're going to have to work at it. So, good luck to you. This is Testarossa 101. This is the 75 gallon. Hoping to stand up my 125 gallon soon as my additional rock cycles. In any case, if you guys have questions, comments, let me know. I'll do my best to answer your questions. Do my best to respond to your comments. Rate this video if you like it. This is Testarossa 101, signing out.